Hey, my name's Jack, and it is 5 days until the release of the Tombs of the Erased League for last Epoch. This time I'm going to look at the Sentinel rework, which everybody has been looking forward to, and they've also added a new marksman ability called Heartseeker. Let's go straight here. So, if you played Diablo 3, you will immediately recognize this. It pretty much looks like it. This is Hungering Arrow from the Demon Hunter in Diablo 3. Um, I actually really liked Demon Hunter Diablo 3. Say whatever you want about the item design and so forth about Diablo 3, but Demon Hunter was really fun, like for sure. And it's nice to see that this ability is playable. With Detonating Arrow, multi-shot, and hail of arrows, the marksman mastery covers area of effect stealth attacks fairly well. However, this has presented an opening for a skill featuring high single target damage, introducing a Heartseeker, launching a ranged projectile with the ability to recurve to the same target repeatedly. Heartseeker is highly capable in both hit and dodge style builds to bring high health targets to their knees, becoming available with 30 points spent and a marksman tree. This puts Heartseeker beyond the chain lock, making the new skill exclusive to the marksman mastery. So this looks really interesting, and I do want to try this. So I'm probably gonna try to make like a Demon Hunter-esque build and see if we can get other stuff like Reign of Vengeance kind of in there too. Let's look at what it exactly says. So, use an arrow that seeks the heart of a nearby target, passing harmlessly through other enemies. Whenever it hits its target, it's a chance to continue through it and recurve to strike again. Subsequent recurve chance is multiplied by 0.8 each time the arrow curves. If the target dies, it would choose a new target. So, when you do like high amounts of damage, you can totally clear packs with this as well. It's not just good for single target. But nonetheless, AoE is obviously going to be better, like straight up, as it damages all enemies of a pack equally. So it has physical, bow, attack, dexterity. I wonder if the tree gives some cool, interesting stuff as well. Starting with a 100% recurve chance each time Heartseeker strikes an enemy, its recurve chance multiplied with yeah. This means at a baseline it will always recurve once, an 80% chance for recurve, and then it keeps lowering until it fails to roll within the very percent chance. By increasing the recurve chance, the minimum amount of recurve each use of the skill will also increase. Okay. Then specialization. So here we got some of the stuff that's going to be on the tree. Heartseeker now has a minimum chance to recurve. Recurve chance can't be reduced below its minimum recurve chance. That's really good. So you would hit 66% and then it will stay at 66% recurve. And that's pretty high. Like that's like an advantageous coin flip. So there might be a chance that you might like get like 10 recurves in a row. Absolutely possible. When we got Arrow of the Ravager, Heartseeker has an additional chance to recurve and it deals more damage, but it now has a cooldown. I don't know. I wouldn't put a cooldown on this ability. It's way too good when you spam it. Nimble Threats. Heartseeker has an additional chance to recurve scaling with dexterity. Now that's nice. There are some like dex stacking stuff that you can do. Heart Drain. When directly used, Heartseeker arrows have a chance to get mana on health on hit. So on hit probably also means when it recurves and then hits as well. So this might be absolutely amazing for like mana and health sustain at the same time while attacking the enemy. Very good. Exposed, Heartseekers hit have a chance to apply frailty and shred enemy armor, but it no longer seeks new targets when the first target dies. I mean, if you're really using this for single target, you probably would be using it mostly for bosses and rare monsters. So this is fine, right? Like if you have another ability that clears packs, like the normal monsters, and you use this for rares only, like this is super worth it. Super worth it. Straight through. When Heartseeker target died, you shoot puncture at a nearby enemy. For each recurve, it would have triggered after the target died. Oh, now that's interesting. That sounds really fun. Like, you could do some bleed stuff with this. Damage conversion. So, Heartseeker penetrate additional cold resistance with your cold over cap resistance. So you can convert either to fire or cold. Dragon Fang. Consecutive recurves each grant a stack of Dragon Fang for 10 seconds. Higher stacks can only be achieved by a higher amount of consecutive recurves up to a maximum of 20. If Heartseeker recurves twice, you will get 2 stacks. If the next Heartseeker recurves 3 times, the first 2 stacks are refreshed and you will gain a 3rd stack. Both fire damage, spell fire damage, storing fire damage, Dragon Fang on recurve. So what is Dragon Fang? Offering stacking added fire. Dragon Fang is a buff rather than a skill modifier. This means all bow, spell, throwing damage you deal will benefit from this at damage. Okay, so you can basically get Dragon Fang stacks which give you like additional damage for all of your fire stuff. So when you're doing like a fire marksman build, that's really nice. What we got, new unique, Ravager's Dart. Plus 35 to 75 recurve chance with Heartseeker, plus 2 to 4 throwing damage with Heartseeker per 5 dexterity. Heartseeker now counts as a throwing skill. Oh, and scales with throwing damage instead of bow damage. So that is actually very good, because this means that you can use it together with Umbro blades and stuff like that, or like shadows, like very specifically shadows, which have like the thing that they use, the last used ability, which would be Heartseeker. I can see some fun stuff coming out of this. You're limited to 1 active Heartseeker. Okay, they thought about it. God damn it, every time. If you have no active Heartseeker and are in combat, you throw 1 at a nearby enemy. Oh, okay. So I just always have a Heartseeker active. So I'd say this unique helmet works really well together with the note from above that gives you a cooldown on your ability, but gives you a bunch of damage, right? And that is pretty much what they have. There are definitely a ton of other nodes within Heartseeker, which allows you to consume shadows for extra Heartseeker attacks. So there is like a Heartseeker shadow build. I kind of want to try that. I really like the shadows mechanic on the Ranger. Have Heartseekers drop black arrows. I also really like this. Is also fun. And of course, noses offer bleed, poison chance, critical strike, and multiplier secondary kill bonuses. In Season 2, the rogue comes to the party with a brand new way to make enemies feel the pain and feel the shadows. How many times do you think you'll be able to get a Heartseeker to recurve? Okay. This looks really good, like, overall. I think this is a very fun ability that people, like, enjoy. And I think, like, putting it together with this other stuff, like shadows, black arrow, bleed, poison, I think there's gonna be some cool stuff coming out of this. So, the Sentinel Rework. Let's see what we got. Alongside Heartseeker second rework, an essentially new skill will be making its debut in Season 2, Volatile Reversal. This bears some reasoning, as neither Sentinel nor Volatile has been unpopular. In fact, Volatile Reversal has been very popular, but not for a good reason. The current version of Volatile Reversal offers very powerful global bonuses, and as such has been a mainstay in almost every Sentinel build. While having a supporting ability certainly isn't problematic, Volatile Reversal features a very unique mechanic, relocating the player back in time. With the skill being used for its massive global bonuses rather than its mechanical effects, this left the skill in an unhealthy position where it felt necessary to many players due to the strength. So, yes, I think this is a good change. I can already see what they're going for. There's like sometimes there's this thing in like a video game where there's one ability and it's like so good mechanically that you just need to put it in everything. Part of Exile has this problem with determination. Like literally everybody runs determination on everything. Whether you're caster, range attacks, melee, totems, like whatever. You're running determination because you need the physical damage reduction, right? I guess they had the kind of the same problem with Volatile Reversal for Sentinel. So because of this, we've intended to rework Volatile Reversal for some time. However, with Sentinel being almost propped up by Volatile Reversal reworking, it would be a more individual, interesting skill rather than an unfun support buff would leave many Sentinel options into weak of a place. Thus, with Season 2, we were both reworking Volatile Reversal into a new skill with an entirely new skill tree and mechanics, as well as providing many buffs and changes across many central skills and passives to help Sentinel Etera White stand on their own without leaning heavily on single skill. Let's look at it. Let's see what they did. A combo ability that jumps forward in time to a target location, performs a melee attack on arrival. We cast within 3 seconds to jump backwards in time to your original location and perform a melee attack on arrival. Attacks avoid melee area movement versus strength, vitality. Strength scaling, vitality scaling, 200% damage effectiveness. Volatile Reversal cooldown continues recovering while the recast is available. That is very important. That is actually very important. It has a cooldown of 6 seconds. You can probably get this low enough where you can like permanently have this up. Because the cooldown is only 6 seconds, right? You can probably get this down to like 4 or 3 seconds. So here is how it looks. So these are Devouring Orb. That actually looks really good. Like this, like a jump ability like that. See some of the stuff they gave it. When you jump forward in time, all your Devouring Orbs are pulled towards you and trigger a Void Rift. So that is probably what we just saw in here. This looks like this kind of playstyle looks very fun. I'd totally do that. But we got acceleration is when you jump forward in time, your existing Devouring Orbs become older, causing them to expire sooner. When you jump back in time, your existing Devouring Orbs become younger, just causing them to expire later. Each orb can only benefit from this once. Okay, so more uptime or less uptime, so you can keep resummoning. Volatile Reversal second combo ability now jumps you forward in time to your target location instead of backward. So this adds extra 6 seconds, right? Still, that is still super worth it, I'd say, because as we know, the cooldown starts on the first initial jump. And then when you get yourself cooldown reduction, you can probably get it lower, right? Like to like half, which would put you at the original cooldown. And then you can just keep on pressing it for every pack to like do what is seen above in the clip. Like keep on getting your Devouring Orbs to Void Rift and jump towards you. So I'd say this is pretty good. Very good effect, like kind of build enabling. Reclaimed action. When you travel at least 4 meters by jumping through time, your next direct melee attack or spell is guaranteed to echo if it is able to. Okay, very good. Void Bolt. When you directly use Volatile Reversal, you now also cast a Void Bolt at up to 3 enemies near your arrival location, but Volatile Reversal costs additional mana, so the additional mana cost is not that bad. But this right here is very good, considering we just saw what it looked like. When you directly use Volatile Reversal, you now also cast a Void Bolt at up to 3 enemies near your starting location, but Volatile Reversal costs additional mana. Okay, so at arrival and starting location, so if you jump really short location, you get up to 6 bolts per 3 enemies, right? Pretty good. I mean, let's go back up here. I mean, we saw it. I guess these are like the bolts that like get shot out. They seem really strong. Returning your wall bolts return to you. Okay, so they're pretty much using all of the things in the little animated GIF. All returning bolts can hit the same target again, plus mana cost. Okay, this is really good. They really thought about this. You gain the frenzy buff while you're able to jump backwards in time. That's interesting. So you could get this and then purposefully don't use the second jump, wait for the cooldown, right? And then you jump again, you have Frenzy again. Frenzy is a really strong buff in last Epoch. While you are able to jump back from time, a percentage of your armor mitigation also applies to damage over time. It specifically says armor mitigation, which is less damage taken. Anchor timeline. Volatile Reversal forward jumps has a significantly shorter maximum distance, but its cooldown is reduced. That is. So this is actually very helpful if you're using the thing above here, like this one, right? And the Void Balls together with not this one. This one, right? You want short jumps, so you trigger starting and arrival location, and this one gives you additional 50% cooldown reduction. No longer traverses, so it's just like an instant ability that like activates all of your orbs and stuff. So with enough movement speed, you don't really care about not being able to traverse anyway. So this one is very nice, and which puts you together with void balls and stuff at 6 seconds. I think it's super worth it. Right? You get this, and then you get the one that increases your cooldown, and you can just keep spamming void balls and devouring orbs together with void rift. Like it's like a big burst damage, super worth it. Symbol of hope. Well, Volatile Reversal may have the spotlight for Sentinel Rework. As mentioned, there's a whole lot of other changes coming to class with this update in both skills and passive. Let's start taking a look at some of these. One of the most significant changes, Symbols of Hope. Every 2 seconds, summons a symbol that orbits you, causing you and your allies attacks and spells to deal 3 additional fire damage, increasing health regen by 20%. Activate to consume the symbols, granting 100 ward and 5% less damage taken per symbol for 3 seconds. Spell buff instant cast. So, okay. Volatile Reversal, Sigil often became an annoying factor as a buff skill that requires regular reactivation to maintain passive bonuses, and ended up being an interruption to play without a fun effect of simply being autocast. That and then gaining a sigil upon using the ability to change the symbol of hope now causes the player to gain symbols passively over time, while activating the skill will consume the symbols for significantly temporary buff. So it's turned more like into a passive oh shit button, which I think is good. When not fully reworked skill like Volatile Reversal, you still find many differences in the near Symbols of Hope tree, including a changed Divine Flare branch of War Generation that new passive bonus such as increased critical strike chance. Orient's Sun Seal. Let's see what we got. +1, 1 to 2 Symbol of Hope, 20 to 40 increased symbol gain rate, 15 to 20 increased healing effectiveness, 10 to 15 increased armor. Symbols of Hope is automatically activated when damage taken leaves you below your endurance threshold. That's amazing. That's kind of like cheat death a little bit. It's kind of like adrenaline. Like it's champion. It's the part of XR1 champion adrenaline kind of like you hit a certain health threshold and the thing activates, and you get all of the like damage reduction that Symbol of Hope like gives you, right? So how much? What is the okay? So you're gonna have 3 symbols to get 15% less damage taken, and then plus all the things you have on the tree probably anyway, right? Next up, Time Rod. Bow down, Time Rod is now a viable build path for Void Knights. Time Rod is an ailment that deals 60 void damage over time, increases stun duration by 5% less 2 seconds, and stacks up to 12 times. Okay, so you can hit over 100% increased stun duration. While most ailments depend on achieving as high of stack counts as possible, don't let that dissuade you from the new Time Rod. When many new sources being able to reliably apply Time Rod, newly available augmentation passive for Time Rod, such as the extremely powerful Void Knight Rod Grip passive, Time Rod offers other routes for scaling than just stack count. Let's see what it does. Rod Grip. Your hits have a chance to inflict enemies with Time Rod. Additionally, Time Rod deals more damage per 1% global chance to slow with Void skills. More damage per 1% global Time Rod chance. With Void skills and more damage per 1% increased melee attack. Wow, so you can like scale with multiple things at the same time. Melee attack, throwing, or cast speed, whichever is the lowest. Okay, whichever is the lowest. Does it mean you need to get all of these 3 at the so wait, is it melee attack, throwing, cast, whichever is the lowest? Why would it be the lowest? Wouldn't it make more sense if it was the highest? Because between attack or cast speed, because maybe you're melee build and you have high attack speed. So why would it take the cast speed to increase the damage? I don't want to do that. No, I have to get both, and that kind of sucks. Nonetheless, more damage is always insane, and having like 3 different things where you can scale it from like reliably is pretty fucking good. Passive changes with the Sentinel Rework, a total of 65 passives have been changed between all masteries. That's a few too many to come on a blog post like this. So for the full details, you'll have to wait for the patch notes on the 11th. So it is the 12th right now, and the patch notes are out. I'm gonna keep going like this. I think the patch notes are very large and they're a bit overwhelming. And I think most people don't want to look through like a 2-hour video, honestly. Forge Master's Might, you can equip a shield alongside a 2-handed axe, mace, sword, or spear. That's amazing. That is amazing. I like unique stuff like this. Well, you have a 2-handed weapon and a shield equipped. You and your minions deal less damage and have less attack and cast speed. Downsides. I hate downsides. Less damage, 20%, less attack and cast speed, 10%. I mean, 20% it's actually a good amount. Like 20% is a little bit higher. Maybe I find it a little bit too high. And haste grants you block chance instead of increasing movement speed. That's interesting. Haste gives block chance. Nonetheless, I think this is very good because you like being able to equip a 2-handed unique weapon and like unique shield at the same time. There's probably gonna come some interesting stuff out of this one. You have to play around with it. Sword of Raya, melee ignition 30% per point. More ignite damage, 5-point bonus. Whenever you activate Holy Aura, it causes all your ignite stacks on enemies in the area to deal more damage. Holy Precision, you have an increased chance to critically strike an additional critical strike multiplier, 5-point, plus 3% base multiplier. That is base multiplier, not increased. Very, very good. Vow, physical pen per point, void pen per point, 5-point bonus, frailty chance, slow chance. Abyssal Fluctuation, elemental damage taken as void 10% per point, void damage taken minus 4% per point. So I remember this working different a little bit in the patch notes. You deal 0 damage while that. Abyssal Fluctuation offers a powerful and thematic method of damage reduction for the void land, converting up to 50% of elemental damage taken to void damage taken, reducing all the void damage taken. This is very good, like for sure, right? Like converting. I remember like Righteous Fire Chieftain, which like goes like 90%, 95% fire rest, and then just converts all other damage types to fire, and then doesn't take any damage because he has 95% fire rest. This is basically the same idea, but it also gives additional void damage taken reduction, which is percentual, by the way. So this node is, I would always take this node. It's just simply too good to not take. I would see this in every build that goes for void stuff, and it just makes sense. Devouring Orb, skill changes. What do we got here? Devouring Orb has received an adjustment to its base functionality, now passively dealing void damage over time to enemies within its area of effect. This change helps Devouring Orb in more of a primary skill role, less dependent on other skills to trigger rifts. Inside the skill tree, you'll find many changes, even more entirely new nodes. 2 of the nodes being the new all-consuming node and the reworked Abyssal Rush. Abyssal Rush, while you are moving, you will automatically cast the Devouring Orb if it's on cooldown and you have enough mana. So, together with the Volatile Reversal that we've seen from above, which lets you like put all of your Devouring Orbs on top of you and everything, this is just like automation is very strong in RPGs, right? This is automation. You automatically do these things, so all you need to do is press Volatile Reversal and use all of your Devouring Orbs, basically. Very, very, very good. And build enabling, of course. All consuming. When you directly cast non-orbiting Devouring Orbs within the area of an existing Devouring Orb, the new orb consumes all existing orbs to deal more damage in a larger area. Damage per orb consumed. Or per orb consumed. Okay. Wait, is that more damage? That's crazy. 50 like per orb? Wow, that's insane. Like how big can you make this orb? This looks like 50%. Like I don't know the base radius of these orbs, but based on the video that I saw about, they're actually small. So you might be able to get like a relatively large orb either way if you invest into area. But like 100% more damage per orb consumed is kind of crazy. But it reduces airman damage, right? So they want you to use like a hit version. However, the new orb also deals less airman damage per orb consumed. Okay. So yeah. They want you to expire the orb so it explodes and then does the hit damage and not use the damage over time. Otherwise, it would probably be too strong, right? For that crazy amount of damage per orb consumed. Javelin, what Javelin has had its added damage effective increased by 50%. The biggest changes for Javelin can be found in its skill tree nodes. This includes Divine Fury no longer being incompatible with Siege Barrage. Okay, so you can rain down javelins. With both nodes allocated, each javelin that rains down will create lightning spears. In addition, many nodes have received adjustments to provide more power to javelin builds, as well as compensate for the volatile reversal changes. I really love throwing abilities in this game. I think that's one of the very unique things in last Epoch, like throwing damage, like Umbo blades for like the ranger or rogue, whatever she's called. I really like that one and I had a build with that. And I kind of want to try out this lightning javelin build. It sounds really fun. It reminds me of Javazon from Diablo 2 as well, with lightning fury. So I want to try this. Warrior's Mark javelin hits have a chance to apply frailty plus point of strength and a chance to shred enemy physical resistance by point of dexterity. And monster per javelin hits deal more damage. This effect is doubled against enemies on high health, which is gonna be pretty much all the time because you want a one shot, right? Multi-strike. Multi-strike is also receiving a number of numerical adjustments, along with one very big new node with Bladestorm. Your additional swords are able to consume mana and in exchange strike the same enemy. This makes multi-strike far more formidable against individual targets. If you can sustain the cost, multi-strike has also received a buff to its hitbox, making reliably landing those primary hits feel much smoother. Bladestorm. When you create more additional swords than there are nearby enemies, each remaining sword can consume mana to strike the nearest enemy, even if it was hit by the initial attack. That is, of course, amazing, just having swords everywhere, attacking all the enemies. Yeah, good change, good change. Shield Draw is an ability that previously required a number of passive points to get it up and running. True. This is largely because of the long cooldown, yeah, which required a non-insignificant number of skill points to remove. Yeah, considering this was the style that was generally preferred for the skill, we've adjusted its base functionality to reflect this, removing the initial cooldown and reducing the cost. Ooh. Shield throw. Throws a shield at the target enemy. The shield ricochets up to 2 additional targets before returning to you. You cannot throw a new shield after the current shield has returned to you. I don't see any cooldown, so that's very good. While it still requires the shield to return before throwing out a new shield, it now only costs a single skill point in the first ring of the tree to remove that restriction. Alternatively, you can add a cooldown to the skill and further specialize it to be able to ricochet to yourself and grant additional benefits with that. These changes free up skill points and combined with other node changes throughout Shield Throw, make it a much smoother and more formidable skill. Good. Like this skill was dead in the water pretty much without heavy investment. And like the question is always, why should I put in heavy investment into one skill when I can just take something else and invest into that and it just does way more damage than this ability, right? So they just made it really good and viable. Smelter's Wrath is receiving some fairly significant number of changes an important mechanical change. While many nodes on 3 are receiving some love, the added damage effect of Smelter is being increased by 150% to 600%. Mechanically, Smelter's Wrath is being changed to now grant more damage based on charge, up to 100% more damage with maximum charge. From 50% more hit damage per second spent charging, this means that reducing your charge time will no longer reduce the benefit received from this effect. Effects in 3 that are for each second channel remain unchanged. So nonetheless, even though this last one being the same as before, for each second channel, like you don't want to channel the stuff, like, right? You don't want to, because you get hit. Like you stand there not doing anything, getting hit, and that sucks. So the only way this makes really a lot of sense if it's like a big hit ability that does like tons of damage, which you would use on cool, like where enemies are using like a slow ability or like bosses. So you stand there, you can channel, you hit the monster, and then they do their other stuff, right? Smatter threat channel change, a powerful frontal cone attack. Or like you can also use it when like monsters are approaching it because it's a frontal cone as well. You almost double what channeling Smelter's worth. So even though it has this, I don't think it's good enough defensive wise, right? I actually wanted to do less damage taken while channeling. But like armor being doubled alone is not good enough. Vengeance, the last skill we'll be touching on is Vengeance. With 28 lines of patch notes just for Vengeance. Holy shit. Okay, Vengeance has a new outlook on life in Season 2. This includes changes to Iron Blade, offering a way to get it to a 100% chance on both Vengeance and Riposte hits, forged weapon generation, and full fire and void conversion. Okay, they're really opening up this skill while keeping its highly defensive strength. Like multi-strike, its base hitbox has been increased to help making striking with the attack feel smoother and more forgiving. Let's see what we got. Abyssal Retribution, your next Void Cleave or Racing Strike deal more damage after you use and hit with Vengeance. Iron Blade travels faster, causing it to also travel further. Additionally, Vengeance and Riposte hits have a chance to attack with Iron Blade per point of attunement up to a maximum. And that's pretty much it. This looks all very, very good, and I can see many different like builds coming out of this. Like Vengeance being a very defensive ability, right? You attack on getting hit, or if I remember correctly. So this looks like together with this stuff, you can do like an on-hit build where you constantly get hit on purpose to trigger Vengeance. And then shield throw looking good, multi-strike, like lightning javelin build, and then all of these like void knight changes, like you could do like time rod, like high amounts of damage over time taken. You can do ignite stuff with forge master, right? I think this is the rework that Sentinel has been looking forward to for a long time, and it's without a doubt a really, really good rework that puts Sentinel at the same strength as the other classes, so to say. And I can't wait to especially try some paladin builds, and this one especially, like lightning javelin, looks especially interesting. And that's pretty much the video. 5 more days and the league launches. Tombs of the Erased. Be there. Hope you liked the video. See you around.